Hey guys, it's Dustin.
Hi guys, it's Amanda.
So today's interesting. We have gone through a roller coaster of emotions, so we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that's happened today, not just about work, but about our lives. I think it's just interesting when you're making a podcast that it's not just, our life isn't just the podcast. We also have life outside. And there's a lot of things that affect us outside, and then we have the podcast, and then it's almost like we're changing all the time as people while we're doing the podcast. So I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. So it's cool because it kind of, everyone loves change. Everyone likes when something is changed, it makes things more exciting. It makes people want to listen more. So I think we're going to be talking about work, but we're also going to be talking about a little bit more of other things, kind of throwing in that random factor, I believe. So we're going to get to that.
Yeah. I think that in this situation with us, I think it's going to be natural for us to speak about our lives and ourselves as well, so that people can kind of get to know us. But I think that people would be curious anyway, because we've already talked about ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
It hasn't been just strictly about work and customer service, but
I was talking to you today about, well, like we were talking about someone in the back, and then I told you after, I was like, oh, I felt crappy. Like, I think that's really interesting. I feel like it's hard for me to let go. So like if someone does something bad to me, I'll hold on to that.
Right.
Hold on to that and then just keep holding on to it.
Right.
Forever.
And that's why they say forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you let it go and you're not holding on to it, because in the end it's just going to affect you negatively, not that person.
Exactly. And I think I'm at a point where I've almost lost that, because forgiveness is like, you hear it, okay, you just get over it. But I'm almost finding like it's becoming a troublesome thing. And so I was talking to you about that person in the back of our workplace. And then like 5 minutes later, I was like, I gotta stop. Like, it's just, it's holding on to me. And the same thing happened to same thing happened to me a year ago with someone. And I held on, and then one of Shalini, one of the workers we work with, she helped me through that. And it's what's funny though, is like those both seem so close together. Like, it almost seems like all of this has happened within a week.
Yeah.
But it's been a year since that's happened. Like, that's crazy. So I feel like I'm almost even still holding on to what happened a year ago. So I think, let it go, guys.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I feel the same way. And I think it's specific to feeling a certain way about a certain person, like in depth. Like this person that you were talking about today, like we knew her, and there were specific things you didn't like about her and the person that she was. And so that's why it's specific, and therefore it's affecting you. Whereas if we're talking about, customers, for example, who we don't really know, but we bitch about, their weird behavior, or if they're annoying, I don't really feel bad about that, because I'm not really attacking them as a person, because I don't know them. It's more just like a general vague, like,
yeah, because everyone experiences
exactly,
that. Yeah.
And yeah. So, but I get that because I've not recently. I think once you get older, you really stop. You really just, you know what, honestly, once you get older, in my opinion, you just realize that it's just wasted energy hating people and speaking negatively. And it doesn't make you feel good. So I totally get what you mean about that.
Yeah.
I think that you need to put it to bed. This was my experience
Good night.
with her, and we didn't see eye to eye, but no hard feelings. And if I see her in the street, I'm going to say hi and treat her like a human being.
That last part is important, because I think that's when it gets real.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we do things differently. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like we didn't kill anybody, so we deserve to be treated like human beings.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
people, like good people. Bad people are people who go and they hurt people intentionally. Those are bad people.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Like even people who are like thinking about like emotionally affecting people, like that's also like that might even be going too far too. It's like, okay, you know what, physical, emotional, gotta stop. And so that's something that I've been, I think I've realized today. Don't let it go.
Yeah.
Be free. It's way better. It makes you more authentic. It makes you more your actual self.
Well, yeah. And I mean, if you don't let go, it's only going to affect you.
I actually want to pull up something. I shared it with Justin, and it has something to do with projection. So
it's really good.
It is really good, and I'll read it here in a second here. But I've just been thinking, for people who are listening, I'm looking for a job, so there's a lot more pressure on me, and so I feel like I've been projecting things onto others lately because of the pressure and the the anxiety and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's to be expected.
Yeah, and I just want to read this little.
I mean, I think that's like anything. You take your typical person and they have something going on in their lives that's negative or whatever, obviously they're going to be acting differently toward people and just in general. There's nobody who can just, turn it off or completely hide it.
I'll have to pop it up later because I don't have data, but
yeah, so don't beat yourself up about that. Your good friends, your real friends, they know what you're going through, and to be honest with you, I don't find that you're any different. Like, I don't think that you know what I mean? I think you're a great friend. You've got your stuff going on, but I don't think that you're...
A lot of it's in my head, too.
Yeah.
And that's like, really interesting because, like, that's really scary because it's in my head. And it's
the mind is a very powerful thing. It's crazy. I mean, if you think about it, if you don't have your mental health, then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
You really don't.
I mean, you're kind of off in the dark. It's literally like having the lights shut off.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're doing. Like, you kind of do, but you're still walking around in this, like, blank space.
Yeah.
Hashtag Taylor Swift.
Blank space. You seriously don't know that song?
I don't. What was it called?
I Know Places. Do you know that song, Justin?
Blank Space?
No. It's called I Know Places by Taylor Swift. It's an older one.
Oh, no, but I want to look at it.
Oh, I love it. They played it at the store a couple times.
You like her older stuff, don't you?
I like all of her stuff.
I got Amanda.
All of it.
I got Amanda to sing at the store for me today.
Oh, really?
I sang first, like I was singing a song, and then I was like, "Oh, you should sing for me." And she's like, "No, I don't want to." And I'm like, "Do it."
And then, like, I think it was like an hour later, and he got me to sing.
Nice.
Somehow.
You can never do that to me.
No, I mean, I didn't actually sing it, please. I just, like, kind of hummed it.
It's pretty good. I thought I'd be.
You have a good voice.
Thank you.
I think you know that.
Thank you.
That I get that from Justin. Thank you.
Thank you.
He does that.
It's like an uncomfortable thank you.
I think that we're kind of in a similar place right now.
I feel that too.
We didn't do the podcast last week because I was sick. And then the week before that, we did do a podcast, but we ended up, for some reason, we thought it would be fun to get high.
And it went extremely well, but extremely bad at the same time.
Yeah, like I just wasn't...
Like, professionally didn't go well,
my mind went to mush.
But, like...
So we ended up recording, guys, and we might share it with you at some point. I mean, it's a little bit... I'm not really proud of it. But yeah, no, we didn't end up doing a podcast just because we were just too baked. Too baked. At the same time, though, for any of you that are familiar with strands and stuff, we did an indica, which is like a body high, and it's good for relaxation and pain and sleep. So, that was also it. Maybe if we had done a sativa strand, which is known more for being highly, creative and productive, that would have been maybe a little bit better. But
what we can do is...
It was just a spontaneous thing. Justin was just like, oh, I have some, it was like, oh, and then...
just so happened it happened to be in his pocket.
All right. You guys wanted to do it. I was like, oh, what a coincidence. I have some.
I don't even know how it came up. No, I did not want to do it. Dustin is terrible for peer pressure with me.
So terrible.
Yeah.
What was it? I think what we'll do is we'll play some for this podcast. Just a bit. Not the whole thing, but just to give you guys a taste of how it went. Because it was actually there was some good stuff that we
I can probably get something.
I mean, the beginning was hilarious. I don't know if Amanda wants us to show that.
I can't even remember it now. But
hey, it's Amanda.
No, that was the previous.
That was a different one.
That wasn't even the one that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't high when I did that.
Maybe I'm high right now.
Don't ask me why I did
Cut
that.
that
I have
out,
no
Justin.
idea. But yeah, so as I was saying, so it's just been kind of like a couple weeks. We haven't really done this. And I know for myself, I've been kind of struggling with just like mental health stuff and just where I am in my life. So I'm kind of in a bit of a dark state right now. We talked about it today.
Yeah, we did a lot. And it's 2 weeks. Yeah. Now that I'm realizing
been a couple weeks,
it's like,
so.
It's not even a week. So 2 weeks, you guys have heard us. And then it's like 2 weeks is so much change has happened.
Yes. Yeah.
So much change has happened. But yeah, anyway, I think that's fun. Anything happened to you today at all with like...
customer wise?
Yeah.
No, I was on bar, which, was interesting.
You got that one
I was
guy.
I was on bar for the rush, which is interesting because...
Yeah, you did really well.
Thanks. And usually I don't want to go on bar because I don't feel confident enough, but I was fine. And it's almost like Semi believed in me. It's nice. And she almost maybe like, she's like, well, if you don't do it, you're never going to get better. So anyway, so it was kind of nice. So I was on bar and it was a different experience. It's a different experience than when you're on till. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, because you're a little bit more accountable and responsible.
Yeah.
Like with the till, you're just like, hi, bye. And then customer service, obviously, you're not really focusing on the customer as much. But the bar is kind of like you actually have to be physically and mentally there.
Right.
You can't really robot your way out of it. No. So...
but yeah, I didn't really have anybody difficult. Everybody was really... It was a good day.
The flat white, that was funny. I watched that whole thing.
Did you watch the whole thing? Mm-hmm. I didn't even realize it was... If I had realized it was his drink, which I wasn't even looking, then I would have, paid more attention. But surprisingly, considering that I didn't even know he was there... We have this customer and he orders a flat white and he's very particular about the way you make it and the way that it is and everything. So this one, I just thought it was, just anybody's flat white. So I made it and he was actually fine with it. And he's just like, next time, just do the long pour of the milk. Like that makes a difference, really? Apparently it does. Really? I don't know if I believe that.
I love the flat white and I think it does.
Okay. It's got to do something to do with the foam and the milk.
Well, the ristretto shots are like pure espresso. Yeah. Like there's not a lot of water. So you put that at the bottom of the cup and then you have to slowly put the milk right in the middle. Yeah. Because when you put the milk in the middle, the espresso goes into that drip of the pour that's going through the center, and it just balances it so well.
Yeah.
And
I offered to remake it for him.
You did the right. Honestly, it wasn't even like a
And
hiccup.
he was really nice. So you know what? Today was pretty. Honestly, there was smooth sailing today. I didn't have an issue with anybody. Nothing really came up.
I found a lot of. I seemed like you despite things that were said today, you definitely seemed like you were doing good. Like I mean, me too.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to do is really practice leaving my shit at the door. I don't want to bring that into the workplace. I don't want to bring that and put that on my coworkers. I don't want to put, you know what I mean? Like, especially in the customer service field. Anybody who's worked in the customer service field knows it's so important that you need to. It's almost like you're playing a role. It's like people expect, you know what I mean? People don't expect you to be in a shitty mood or oh, I'm having a bad day because this happened. Like, no, you're working. And I know, yes, they know you're a human, but you're not supposed to show that. You know what I mean? You're there to do a job. And that job is to greet somebody and be pleasant and give them what they want and then see them out the door. And then, what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to really do is because I feel like I'm so out of control in my life right now, I'm trying to at least be able to control how I come off to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're doing a good job.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that I don't know.
What do you mean? Say it.
No, I mean, I just think it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty obvious when I'm not happy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I think today was pretty decent.
Yeah, no, today was okay. I tried to put it aside.
And you know what?
I had a lot of shit working against me today, trust me. Like, yeah.
And you know what?
Like, I had like 3 hours of sleep. Like, I ate too much yesterday, so my weight's like way up, which is huge for me. Makes me feel like shit.
You know what the difference is, I think? I feel like our management's a lot better.
Yeah, she's great. I really like her.
She's very...
lifts. I mean, I think about all the things that she does and all the things that our last manager didn't do. And this woman, our new manager, has 3 young children under the age of 7. And then our last manager had no kids.
She came in sick today.
Yeah.
And she's there long.
She lost her voice, was gone. She was like whispering the whole day. I mean, yeah, and Natalia would have done the same thing. So she's similar to our first manager. So now I've been at our workplace now for a year. I just had my 1-year anniversary, and we're on our third manager. So it's interesting to see how,
You said you didn't like change, and I think
I don't like change, but I am open to good change. But sometimes it takes me a while to warm up to something.
Though, I think you were good with all three managers. I think I was the one who had the issue with the second one, and
But you had your reasons.
I did. Yeah, I did. And it's like, I learned from those experiences, and it's like almost a breath of fresh air. I wouldn't say like it's a reward or anything, but it just feels so nice to know that, okay, at least if something goes down, I know that it's probably for a reason. Like if something happens, like, oh, okay, I need to look into myself and see what's wrong, because there's a reference. There's something I could. Okay, she's obviously mature. She knows how to work. She's there for us, for the store. So that was great. I liked that. It's nice, especially what you and I are going through, to have a manager that's a lot more mature.
Yeah,
and just solid.
I wonder how old she is. I guess like late 30s.
Late 30s?
Maybe early 40s.
Yeah.
It's Asian people. They just have that. They're lucky. They just don't age, man. They look young always.
Well, there's this one girl who works with us. She's Filipino, and she looks like she's honestly like 15, 16, but she goes outside to have a smoke. And,
I mean, if you
manager.
really look at her and talk to her, you can tell she's like 25. But I know what you mean. It's like if you're just looking at them, like look at Thelma, for example. She's 53. She's got beautiful skin. She's got beautiful hair. Like she's just like young looking. I wouldn't guess. I would say she's 45. That would be my guess. 45. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because once you know someone and you know how old they are, it's hard to say what you would think they were if you didn't know them.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, if that makes sense.
She's I was talking to her the other day. She seemed like she had some lower energy. I hope she's okay.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know. She seems.
You seem to know more about a lot of the partners more than I do.
Well, probably because I work more.
Oh, I guess that is true.
Well, not necessarily. You work the weekends, so there's different people on the weekends than there are on the weekdays. I don't know what it is. Also, just me being a shift and you being a barista. But yeah, Thelma and I have worked together quite a bit, so I know her.
Who do you usually work with on a typical
Thelma?
Closing shift.
Oh, closing. Well, it used to be Thelma, Nat, Phillips. Used to be Ben. I miss him.
Yeah,
I worked with him a bit on Monday. Yeah, he's a good guy.
I work with him on the weekends.
Yeah. And then Brett, but of course Brett's gone. But yeah.
Wow, I haven't thought about Brett in a while. That he was a really cool guy. I liked him.
Yeah, he was different. Nice guy. Different.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't have any friends that are like him. I've never met anybody that's like him anyway, but I really enjoyed what we had as a friendship and how the dynamic was in the group. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I miss a lot of the people that we used to work with that we don't anymore.
Well, Deanna was great too.
Deanna, Vinko, who else? Seiji.
Oh, speaking of Seiji, we are going to have a goodbye party for him.
Good.
I just don't know when, because Justin wants to do a no drink.
No drink November, but
that's fine with me. Fine. I still haven't drank since that night.
Really?
Oh,
really?
No, I haven't had anything. Not hard for me, though. I could go years without drinking.
Yeah.
We're close enough to the end of the month, though.
It's
you guys can have it
poison.
whenever.
Oh, you know what? Let's do it at the end of the month.
Sure.
Or the beginning of December. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm up for that. So we just planned an event on our podcast. The address is...
and none of you are invited.
None of you are invited.
You know, I think it's really funny that you guys started out this podcast talking about letting things go, because lately I've had a lot of issues with a few coworkers of mine, and I feel like that's what I need to do is just stop holding on to issues that we've had in the past and just
Yeah, because it's crazy how it can affect you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why am I letting this person have this much power over me and my mood and how I feel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's hard. Also, at the same time, it's hard not to be affected because you work with these people, and you're probably spending more time with them than you spend with your significant other, for example.
Oh, definitely.
Well, you know what it is for me. Like that to me is easy. Like if I get in an argument, like I think I'm really good at being able to just get over it. What bothers me, I think now, which is interesting, is when the person has the upper hand. So, for example, there's a couple people that already have jobs that I've had issues with. So that's hard because like they're in a better place than I am. So it's harder for me.
That's you know what I mean? I've said that before too, what you just said. And I've had someone say to me, well, define what a better place is. Like, maybe not for all people they're in a better place. Like I was like, upper hand, what the hell does that mean? That's not necessarily true.
Right. Okay.
They don't necessarily have the upper hand.
Okay.
But I know what you're saying, and
you
I know
what
how
I'm
you
saying,
see it that way. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
But I mean, the
really
funny
good.
thing is when you're looking at other people, and especially you, like looking at people who are around you that you've graduated with, they're all getting jobs and you're not, and whatever. You don't know what the rest of their life looks like.
Right.
Have you ever thought about that? Like, what does their home life look like? What does their social life look like? Do they have any friends? Like, what do they do when they're not at school or when they're not? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that
I just feel like when you're suffering or when you're struggling, you're so, and I know this from experience, caught up in your own mental state, and it's all about you, and you kind of feel like you're the only one going through it, but at the same time then you just step outside of yourself for a second and you think about it, and it's like everybody's going through something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That is it. That's definitely the key ticket. I definitely want to practice that more.
Yeah, not to say that you shouldn't be focused on yourself and getting to where you want to be, of course, but I just know from my experience, I've dealt with some stuff. I don't know if I really want to get into that on the podcast, but
That's okay. We can talk
I've dealt
about it
with
later.
some, mental health stuff.
Yes. We'll keep it at that.
Yeah. That kind of makes me sound crazy. Like I
mental health is, everyone has mental health.
Literally everyone.
No, I know, but and I guess anybody who knows that would know that. So yeah.
And people who don't know that need to know that.
For sure.
Like mental health is real and everyone has it.
And everybody has it. It's everywhere. So if you're not educated on it, I mean, you're really, I don't know.
Get prepped. Get prepared.
I don't even know what I was saying now. Oh yeah, but based on that, I just know how it's so easy to get lost. And you think that it's just you and like the world is coming to an end and everything's just dark and you just get really caught up in yourself. That's all.
That's what
and I know that feeling. So
yeah, so I think I'm definitely I love that. I love what you were just saying. So I'm gonna definitely look in terms of that through that lens.
Yeah. If you guys come across any ways of being more positive or better, having better state of minds, please let me know, because I'm constantly looking for that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I have such negative inner talk, it's just terrible. The things I say to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Anyway.
Let's get out of that dark pit.
Get real sad.
Justin, did you work today or yesterday?
Today? No. Oh, I worked yesterday.
How was work?
Yeah.
Like anything going on over there? I mean,
yeah.
Well, yeah, tell us about what's happening with your coworkers, because that's all part of what we want to talk about too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you want to.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I feel like this whole week I've been thinking about it a lot. So I'll get into a little bit of specifics. There's two coworkers in particular, and I don't know what it is. I think we just, our personalities clash some of the time, and
that's bound to happen.
Oh, definitely, yeah, especially in a workplace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like okay, I don't want to paint these people as like really terrible, but I feel like there was sort of like a power struggle. Like one in particular really wanted to be dominant over me, and not even so much in the way of like ordering me around and stuff. It's just like the way that he talked to me, and it really got to me. And pretty quickly after I was introduced to him, I got turned off, and I was like, I don't like this type of person. I've dealt with people like this before, and I don't really want to be around
Me.
that. You, yeah, yeah. That's why we're best friends. And then things would happen though. Like he would have a sort of outburst, and I would just be there, and I would be the one that he would. Sort of like I would be his outlet. Like he would unload everything on me, not in like a therapy way, but like he's angry and he's taking it out on me.
Yeah, that's not okay.
It's not, but
No.
like I understand, and I feel like I do that too. I do it with Dustin all the time because we live with each other, so we see each other all the time.
Yeah, but that's different though. Dustin, is almost like family, a close friend, someone you live with, like somebody that you work with. It's like
Yeah.
you're not supposed to bring that kind of animosity to the workplace.
Yeah, that's true.
And people that you work with, initially, they're strangers. They're not people. They're not friends. I mean, of course, you can become friends, but no, I don't agree with that. And him feeling like he needs to talk to you a certain way, like he's almost better or that he's controlling you. That's not okay. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
It's interesting because
that's not your problem. That's his problem.
Yeah, I just happen to be in the mix.
Of course, yeah.
well, I mean, it was funny because like yesterday, this person asked Justin about Maya, which is this rendering software. It's basically to build and model things on the computer for games or movies. And then Justin, I had my headphones in my ears, or I had my headphones on, and Justin, he started talking to me, and I lifted my headphones out, and he was like, and he said something about the FBX, which is a file format, and I was like, oh yeah, and I got off my chair, and I went, and I was like, and I started helping her. And then after all of that, Justin told me, he was like, I was a little agitated by that because I just asked a question and then you completely took over. And so I really thought about that. I was like, oh, wow. And I apologized. And it's like, that's the thing that people have to watch out for. Like, you don't want to be suffocating. You don't want to, and for me, it was by accident. I didn't even think about it, but now, I'll be a little bit more aware of that.
Yeah, no,
so
for sure.
I was just I thought about that because it sounded like he was kind of just being demanding or just what was the word you authoritative?
I don't remember the word I used, but yeah, authoritative, basically.
Yeah.
More dominant.
Yeah, and basically stuff under that line. So under
I almost
those
feel
lines.
like if somebody walks into the workplace and they're being that way, it's almost like
Right off the bat?
they're doing that because they're lacking, something is going on in their life
Definitely.
outside of work, And like that's not what the workplace is for you to feel dominant because you're not dominant in your household, like.
Right,
and then taking it
exactly.
out on other people. Anyway, I have a question for you, but I'm going to let you finish first.
Okay. It's funny that you say that because that's sort of how I've been viewing it now.
Right.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit though, so I'll go back. So yeah, we've had a few scraps together, and I just right away I'm kind of like Dustin where I hold on to things like forever. Like I don't forget. Like if you screw me over, I'm not gonna forgive you. But it was draining. Like every time he would come by, or every time we had to interact because we work together, right? We have to get along. We have to get information from each other. Yeah, coexist. And every time he would come by, I would instantly switch into that other mood. Like I would be with my other coworkers having a good time, and then as soon as he comes by, I'm like, oh, hi, what do you want? Like, okay, yeah. And it's, I don't know. I feel like I want justice, and I don't want to be treated badly. And so because of that, I feel like I'm owning or like almost like winning the situation by treating them bad. You know what I mean?
But it's almost like you're losing when you do that.
Yeah, exactly. I am.
You're going down to their level.
Yeah, and it's always on my mind, and it is draining.
And you don't feel good about it.
No, I don't.
And again, just bringing this all back again is like that's what I was telling you, Amanda, about when I was talking about that person in the back room. I was like, oh, this feels gross. Like just even talking about it was like, it's draining. And I feel like, honestly, Justin, like when people come up, like when you're working with people, when you're around people, if they do stuff to you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them.
So true.
And and if they're going to keep doing it, then let them keep doing it, because eventually it's gonna turn. The tables will turn.
Yeah.
And you'll see the results from that.
But I mean, sorry, go on, Justin, because I still want to ask you this question.
Okay. And I was just going to say that situation that me and you had, Dustin, where I felt like you were being a little bit, I don't know what to say, like...
overbearing?
Sure. Yeah, overbearing. That was an accident. And you didn't realize that you were doing something inconvenient. And I feel like I do things like that all the time too. And maybe my coworker is also doing that. Like, they're not always intentionally trying to do something to inconvenience me. Not always. Like, sometimes they are. But I never really know for sure if they are or not. So with this coworker in particular, we both finished our shift at the same time, and we were going to go home. And we met up outside, like, total coincidence. And he offered me a joint. He's like, "Do you want to smoke with me?" I was like, "Sure." I was planning on getting high tonight anyway, so may as well get a head start.
Oh, wow.
You got high last night?
No, not last night. This is last week, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
interesting.
Yeah,
what
and
happened?
So it was really weird because, like, why would I do that? Why would I don't like being around him. Why would I smoke with him?
And maybe because you thought that this might be a chance to clear the air.
Redeem.
So that you guys can work in a more peaceful environment together.
If so, that was totally like way in the back of my mind. That wasn't, but
what were you thinking? Were you just like, oh, this guy's going to get me high for free? Or
I think that's all I was thinking. I was like, oh, well, he's giving me free weed. Sure. I'll take it. And it ended up being like a really awesome conversation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and as I was having the conversation, I was like really engaging and really really being a part of the conversation. Because
so it's almost like he was a totally different person outside of work.
Almost,
the minute that he stepped out of his workplace.
Or what if it was the fact that he is the same? It's just
my perception.
Your perception.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, like, Shalini I always use Shalini because she's a perfect example. Sometimes she'll yell at you, but she's not yelling at you.
That's true.
To yell at you. She's yelling at you because that's sort of her her mannerisms.
That's true.
Yeah.
And if someone came in a different light, they would see that as yelling.
That's true.
So that's like that's how I view that.
But I mean,
I could be wrong.
If this person is belittling you and making you feel like you're this small.
But it almost seems like a projection, though. Like, that almost seems like you're projecting that's what he's doing.
Oh,
but
okay.
That's not his intention. I don't think anyone really has those intents to make someone feel small.
I was seeing it from the other side, that he was projecting, like he has these issues going on, and so he's treating me like that. But that's actually a good way to look at it too. Like, maybe I'm just seeing him.
Oh, sorry, I'll clear that up. No, what I was saying to like how Amanda was seeing that he was seeming like he was making you feel so small. So that idea was being projected, that's what he was doing. Okay. That's what I meant.
Yeah, no, I get it now.
But yeah, no, I think what you said is true, Justin, that he's probably the way that he's acting, if he's acting a little bit unusual or a little bit rude or a little bit, like you said, what's the word? I don't know. Belittling demeaning. Then it's probably projection from his life and what he's lacking or what's going on in his life.
It's cool that you guys had that coffee break and you guys were able to
after work joint. Do you think that'll change your dynamic now when you guys work together in the future?
It has.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about it.
What do you mean?
Well, the day after we worked together again, and he, it was a really good conversation, and I saw him in a different way, and I feel like also we were high, so walls were down, and I feel like I got to know a lot more about his personality, and I feel like this is, if he ever listens to this, I hope he's not offended, but I feel like he sort of craves attention a little bit more, or maybe in a different way, because I feel like we all crave attention to some degree, and his way, I'm having a hard time saying this. Just the way
He's
that he
having a hard time articulating.
Oh, that word. Remember we were trying to figure out that word?
I do remember that.
I was like, it starts with an A. What is it, guys? Artistic?
It took us like an hour, literally. Artistic.
Autistic?
Careful now.
Careful now.
I'm forgetting what I'm saying now. Can you remind me?
I think we're Amanda just looks at me with complete despair.
Okay, I'm getting into too much detail.
Here, let's just sum this up. I really think that this guy is just the way he is, and he was the same person when he was you guys smoked a joint, and you I was going to say something. Your perception was changed.
Also, I think it's important to note that the times that he has lashed out on me, he's been really stressed because he's had a lot of tables, and I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to justify things.
That's really nice of you, though, to like make excuses for him. Most people wouldn't be that nice.
Well, I haven't been nice until recently.
Well, I think that sometimes you need to not be nice.
Probably,
If people aren't treating you nicely, then it's like,
I don't know.
But that kind of walk all over you. But the moral of the story is marijuana fixes things. It brings people together.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Just smoke a joint.
I think Jesus was treated and hung up on a cross, so I think I want to be hung up on a cross.
Should we do that?
What?
And no, moral of the story for, I'm a Christian, so I see like how basically Jesus and his people literally hung him on a cross. Like they literally crucified him. The people that were following God were the ones that crucified him.
Why?
Because it was basically, well, just imagine some guy in this library comes in and says, "I'm God." Like, what are you gonna do, right? Like, what are you gonna believe? Like, oh, fuck that. Like, you're not. Despite all of the messages that the Bible talks about, but anyway, like, so this Jesus was like beaten and bruised and crucified, and so for me, I look at that as like, you know what, like, it always comes around full circle. Mm-hmm. So no matter how beaten or taken advantage of that you are, it always comes back around full circle, and it always will benefit you in the long run. It just does. That's basically how I see it.
Interesting.
I don't know about other people's lives, but for me, I can definitely say the same thing. And if I do the other way, if I'm the asshole, it never works out for me, ever.
Huh.
Look at it that way.
Can I ask you from a religious point of view, because I am not religious whatsoever, but oh so curious about it. How often does your Christianity come into your mind on a daily basis when you're how much effect does that have on your life?
It has a huge effect. It recently hasn't been as evident because I haven't been reading scripture. I haven't been going to church.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Unfortunately, but I've been picking it back up again.
So, but you usually go Sundays after work?
Usually, but I haven't gone.
What's been going on that's made you not go? Just curiosity.
Well, I go home and Michelle and Justin are there.
Okay,
and it's like,
so
I don't want to miss the opportunity.
It's not really a priority right now, maybe.
I wouldn't even put it in that bracket. It's not a matter if it's a priority or not. It's more so, I'll just go into my room for an hour and I'll read the word and I'll write some scripture down and I'll study on my own.
Oh, well, that's.
And I almost find that a little bit more something I can chew on more, because I feel like sometimes pastors will just talk about mainstream stuff like, he's there for you. Like, it's just, okay, I know that. I want to learn more about what I'm believing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to dig deep into these scriptures. I don't want to hear, it's almost, sometimes it seems like it's the same stuff. How do you fix your relationships? How do you care less about money?
Because for a minute there you were saying, you made it sound like, I haven't been going to church, so therefore you've sort of been neglecting your Christianity. That's not the case at all.
No.
Maybe the opposite. So that's awesome. No, that's good. I mean, I don't think you necessarily, I don't know anything about religion. So it's like, it's something to consider yourself a good Christian, do you need to go to church on a daily basis or on a weekly basis?
I think you shouldn't look at it that way. I think it's
that's what I'm asking. I don't look at it anyway. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, even just like how you worded it, because it seems like for me, it's just
Do you want to fight, bitch?
let's get down to the ground, whore. For me, it's like I'm a Christian whore. God. Whore.
You're a fucking whore.
We walked by this guy at a gas station calling the number 4.
Wait. We have to tell the whole story, though. But let's just finish up with what we were saying.
Did we not tell that story already?
It's like air.
Maybe we might have told the
It's
story.
like air.
We tell the story a lot.
My faith.
Everybody knows
My
the story.
faith in God is just a part of my life as air is.
Right. So
I'll
even
just
if
put
you
that.
even if you don't go home and write out scriptures, or if you don't go to church, because I have a girlfriend, she's very religious. She used to go to church more often, never does anymore, but still very religious. And that doesn't mean you're not religious anymore.
I'm just hungry. Like I'm always hungry for more.
Yeah.
If I miss a day at church, it doesn't mean that I was like, oh darn it. It's just like the church isn't feeding me enough. It almost seems like I need to go to something maybe explore another church or something like that. I just feel like it's too big. It just
Or maybe just have a different channel of, maybe the church isn't doing it for you anymore. I don't know.
I think another thing is I'm not talking to anybody in the church. Like I just go and then I leave.
So
And
do you
maybe-
have any friends who share the same beliefs as you, or religion as you? Because that maybe...
Back home, no. And here, there's just one person. Her name is Tamara. She's amazing. She goes to the school actually that I went to, and she's really cool. She's really cool.
Because sometimes it's nice.
I see her there sometimes.
To practice the religion on your own is one thing, but to have someone who you...
More like community.
Exactly. And it's almost like when you have, a problem or something. Like, for example, I have type 1 diabetes. So sometimes I'll go to a type 1 diabetes support group. And it's like, these people all know my struggle. They all do the same thing. They test their blood 5 times a day. They give themselves insulin before they eat. They know what an A1C is. This, that, and that. So it's nice, to just feel like you can relate on the same topic with someone.
Yeah, you go to this support group. Like, how do you find them?
They're through VGH. Yeah, it's all on the Juvenile Diabetes Association website.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's quite a few resources out there for us. So, and I've had diabetes now for since I was 16. So, 17.
So you had it for 7 years?
I don't even know. What is that? What's the math? I'm 31. I had it since I was 16.
15 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's almost.
Oh my God! I just had my 15-year anniversary. In September.
That's almost double.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
half your life.
Anyway, so
Oh my God.
and that's really I don't really want to get into this right now, but I'll just say that recently I've realized that diabetes has played a huge part in my life and how I feel and my happiness and unhappiness. But I didn't realize that until recently because I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's like I got diagnosed and kind of didn't really want to dwell on it, didn't really want to focus on it. Just went like, okay, let's tell me what I got to do. I'll do it. And so I can move on with my life.
You didn't
and so I did. And I had pretty good management for about 5 years. And then I think after that, I just kind of wanted to pretend like I didn't have it. Like I did the stuff. I checked my blood. I gave myself insulin, but I just didn't really, I don't know. I guess I wasn't taking care of it as much as I should have. I just kind of wanted to...
like more mentally, like you...
Yeah, like I just kind of wanted to just, oh yeah, like let's eat that, or we can eat whatever I want, and like didn't really go into like the carb counting and really thinking about what I was doing, and and I don't even know where I'm going with this, but now as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that how it's taking a toll on my life, how it's starting to affect my health. Like if you don't take care of your diabetes, it's going to start to take a toll on you, on your...
And what, on energy or...
Everything.
Really?
Everything, yes. Your energy, your physical health, healing, your body healing, hair, everything. So I'm really starting to realize now that the better control of your diabetes you have, the better control you have of your overall physical health. So that's also something I've been dealing with lately.
Lesson of the day.
Yeah.
It's a really important thing.
You know, and I always thought to myself, oh, you know, people are like, oh, you have diabetes. Oh, I'm just like, yeah, you know, it could be worse. It could be leukemia. It could be cancer. It could be this. You know, I'm just dealing with it. And if you handle it well, if you have good control, then your life shouldn't be disrupted in any way, which is true. But I think I took that a little too far to the point where it was like, don't think about it. You don't, you know, I knew I had it, but it was like almost like acting like I didn't have it. And now it's sort of catching up with me. So.
What happened at 16? Like how did you find out?
Oh, that's a story. I was on a soccer tournament in Vernon, and I was going into grade 11. Mm-hmm. And it was the end of the summer. And I remember so I guess so I got diagnosed in September, but I guess I had been diabetic for, I guess, the previous few months. And so as just a regular person, your blood sugar, a normal blood sugar should be between 4 and 8. So when I was diagnosed, my blood sugar was at 40.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I remember that summer so well too, because I had done the grouse grind, and I've always been very athletic, very active. But I really struggled. We did the grouse grind. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. You know that it's tough. So I did it at a blood sugar that was probably 30 plus. So of course, when your blood sugar's high, you're exhausted. You are completely dehydrated. So you're just drinking ridiculous amounts of water, urinating. You know, you're just exhausted. So I did it. I think my time was like an hour. So I actually did pretty good. But I just always remember, out of all of us, it was just my family, I was the one who was struggling the most, which was unusual because usually I'd be up there with my brother and he did it in like 35 minutes. So yeah, but that wasn't enough to be like, oh, something's not right. Anyway, so I was at a tournament in Vernon and I was drinking. I actually had a nickname that weekend. They had called me the wateraholic. It's ridiculous how much water I was drinking. No, like it's not even... It's crazy.
Yeah.
The amounts of water I was drinking. Crazy. And I was
like,
so
are we talking
hungry.
2 liters?
Oh my God. Like, you know those big bottles that are like huge?
Yeah.
Like the really
like
weird.
A couple feet high.
Yeah, like the really like unusually big bottles that you'll find at a gas station, but nobody ever buys them. I was drinking that in like 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So, and I actually remember all of us who drove, we all had to stop a few times because of me, because I had to go to the bathroom. So anyway, and then of course when your blood sugar's high, what happens is your body is eating away at your fat because there's so much sugar in your blood. So not only are you thirsty, but you're starving. So a lot of like the women coaches were thinking I had an eating disorder because I was drinking a lot of water. I was eating a lot, but I was so thin. Because that's kind of what it does. I don't really know how to explain it, but when you have high ketones in your blood, it eats away at your body fat. So you are losing weight, but it's so incredibly dangerous for your health. Anyway, so long story short, I just remember our last game. I remember so vividly. Being on the field, I was a midfielder, so there's a lot of running involved when you're a midfielder, and I just remember running and my legs feeling like bricks. Like I just felt like I couldn't run. Like I was exhausted. So they took me off the field, and it just became an issue to the point where they were like, you know, like what's going on with you and this and that, and you know. So when I got home, I said to my mom, you know, a couple people think that I might have. I think one person brought up diabetes because I guess they knew some of the symptoms. My mom's like, and we were just like, no. But I said, you know, this has been going on for a while, so let's just go get it checked out. And then, you know, and the next day I was starting school. It was just so funny. So we went to the drop-in clinic and they took a sample of my urine. And yeah, that's how they found out.
Wow. So you said your legs felt like bricks. What does that mean? Like
they were just so heavy. It was just because I was exhausted.
Right.
I was exhausted. My blood sugar was at 40.
My friend got diabetes and he described it when he first found out, like his arms were thick. Like they were, like the blood was
that makes sense too.
So like it was almost like solid. That's how thick it was.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
It's almost like you're bloated. But anyway, and then also another side effect is your eyes.
What happens?
Well, I just went completely blurry. because it just high blood sugars. Diabetes is the number one. My doctor just told me this on Monday when I saw her. Diabetes is the number one cause of blindness. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. So like, if you don't have good control of your diabetes, you don't have good control over anything. So that's kind of like why I'm like right now, my main priority is to get my blood sugars down. They're not terrible, but my last A1C was a little high, and it's concerning because, you know, I haven't been feeling great.
When we had those chocolate bars, were you okay after?
Oh yeah, because I gave myself insulin and I checked my blood. It was fine. But yeah, sometimes, you know, like in the past, for example, when I said that I like to pretend, you know, I would kind of not pretend, but act like I didn't have it. It's like, I'll have a chocolate bar and I won't check my blood before. So therefore, not knowing what I'm at before I eat the chocolate bar and then having the chocolate bar. So if I was high before I had the chocolate bar, now I'm even higher. Anyway, so basically I need to be a little bit more diligent on that. And I feel like a bit of an idiot because I knew better all along, but I was also dealing with other stuff. And that all kind of played a part as well. So I don't even know how we got onto that.
I don't know either, but diabetes is interesting because it's like, what are the, like, what happens? Like, because I mean, obviously there was an age where people didn't have insulin to use. So what happened to people? Like, did they just die back in the day?
Well, actually, it's interesting you say that because my mom's got a friend and her dad had type 1 diabetes and he actually lived until he was 85. That's pretty good. He had no management whatsoever. None.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
it's good. I mean, that's good, but yeah. So, but then, you know, not to be confused with type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is definitely the one that's out there. It's more talked about. It's more well known because it's people usually who get type 2 diabetes. It's people who are overweight or out of shape or don't eat well or a combination of all three. It's also hereditary. So you'll get it because somebody else had it. But usually it's because of poor lifestyle.
Right.
So yeah, that's nothing to do with type 1. Type 1, they don't even know. Your pancreas just stops producing insulin and there's no real reason why. I've got one cousin who's got it. She's had it since she was 2.
So she needs the
insulin dependent, yeah. So she's my cousin Kirsten. She's had it since she was 2 and now she's 37. And she's got 2 kids, so she hasn't had the best control in her life, but you know, she's doing okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, diabetes, like, I don't know, it's such an interesting topic because it's like one thing shuts down in your body and it's a thing now.
Of course,
it's like this whole thing that we know now how to take care of and treat and the results.
Everything is connected. Everything is connected.
It has a purpose to it. But yeah, what time are we at, Justin?
I was actually just going to say we have about 8 minutes left.
All right. Well, sorry we kind of got off track there, guys. But I mean, you know,
good.
You're learning more about us. And
Amanda has diabetes and I have projection issues.
Speaking of projection, Dustin, did you ever end up finding that article about projection?
Oh yeah, you were going to look it up.
No, I don't have Wi-Fi because I have to log in.
We didn't connect. Okay, let's do it next time then. We'll bring it up next time.
I mean, Justin, do you have the phone? Do you have your...
Oh, yeah.
I sent it
I can
to
check
you.
on my phone, sure. I'll just cut out the silence unless you guys want to talk.
I mean, yeah, because I forgot today to connect to the Wi-Fi here.
Yeah.
Usually we do that when we first arrive.
Yeah, and I'm actually at... Because I never charge my phone, guys.
It's
I'm
very
literally
true.
at 11... I'm literally at 11%, so...
I've been getting better. I was like that too. But then I found myself in some very inconvenient situations when my phone was dead and I needed it. So I was like, okay, need to start charging my phone.
Yeah. I'm $50 in phone debt. Over $50 over.
Yikes.
Because I've been using data.
Oh, it's the worst. Once you go over your data, it's like...
I hate data.
I mean, those cell phone companies are really exploitive. Like, they will just take full advantage. If you even go a little bit over, it's like $15. So now I know if I go over, I'm like, okay, I'm going to fucking really go over because they're going to charge me anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I have 4 gigabytes now. So.
Oh, wow.
But I still go over somehow. I don't know how.
But no, I'm usually pretty good with mine because I figure I have Wi-Fi at home and I have Wi-Fi at work. So if I'm using data, it's like a couple things when I'm out on the bus or something. Or I think iMessage uses up data, but not lots.
No, not.
So it's
not
very
much.
rare for me to go over. But actually, this month I did go over because I didn't have Wi-Fi at my place for the first couple
Is there a way to just shut off the data and not have to pay for it?
No.
Oh.
No, like
you just have to manually do it, I think.
Yeah, you manually turn off your data. So
But-
when you're connected to internet, you can use it. But when you're not connected to internet, you can't use your data. So that's a way of controlling not using your data.
But it just doesn't make sense because, like, what if I don't want to pay $90 for data and just use the Wi-Fi?
Oh, I see what
Well,
you're saying.
then you won't have. That's fine. But then you won't have data when you're walking down the street.
But I don't need. What if I just want to use it for the Wi-Fi?
Then
like,
turn your data off. But then you won't
But
get
you're-
you won't get messages like
but that's the
iMessages.
thing because, like,
You can
right.
you can change
You'll
your
get
plan.
text messages, but
You can change your plan, I think.
but you've done that. I can tell when you do it. Because sometimes I'll text you and it won't go through, and it'll be like, send us a text message, and I'm like, oh, his data must be off. He must have turned it off.
Yeah, I turn it off all the fucking time.
Yeah, I can tell. Do you have Wi-Fi at school?
No.
Okay.
Shitty as hell.
I can tell because when you're at school all the time, I'm like, oh, his Wi-Fi's off, so he must not have Wi-Fi there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Messenger's the.
it's crazy though how our phones now are everything.
I want to bring it back.
Everything.
Like, I'm.
Camera,
Yeah.
phone,
Flashlight.
music, internet, everything.
Flashlight.
Yeah, everything. It's crazy.
It's also a vibrator. If anybody
I mean, yeah.
Just keep texting me.
with yeah,
Vibrate over and over.
Can you please give me the long message this time, or actually call me. Call me.
Can you imagine if the vibrate was longer depending on how long the text was?
Text me a dirty story. Once there was a little girl and 4 bears. What the fuck? Just talk about like some child. Okay, that's getting too far.
Don't go there.
Child stories, but
We have about 5 minutes left. Do you want?
We drop our social meds.
Yeah. Do you guys want to read the article about projecting, or should we
Sure.
save that for next episode?
no, I think we were talking about it. Might as well
Yeah, you
bring
might
it
as
up.
well.
All right. Well, I have it up.
Okay.
Is everybody prepared and ready?
The floor is yours.
Okay.
Close your eyes and realize.
How to stop projecting when you're projecting. Weird title. It's so easy in the midst of knowing. Oh, sorry. It's hard to see this while I'm speaking into a mic. It's so easy in the midst of knowing so much information, so many psychological terms, and so much spiritual wisdom to actually believe that you are saved from doing the very things that you don't want to do. Projection, which is the basis of all our relationships, is the most difficult trance to break. For example, I hear all the time, she's so demanding. It's all his mother's issues. If she hadn't embarrassed me, or if he wasn't so stubborn, or they're so blank. I do this all the time. You get to fill in the blank. When we're projecting on those we like and those we dislike, we're giving away our power and our ability to stand in our highest truth. Since projection is a natural phenomenon, a defense mechanism is our ego state. It's so easy to point out other people's projections and so difficult to snap out of our own. Why is this? Because when we are projecting, we actually believe that what we are seeing is the truth about another person. Sorry. That part really hit me actually, because I definitely do that. Like if I'm thinking something about somebody, I don't consider that it might not be true. I see it as fact. It's kind of cool. I like that part.
Does this have anything to do with when you see someone and you don't like something about them, but it's because you see you are like that?
You see your flaws in them.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's
probably.
That's
yeah.
what projection is.
Okay.
Yeah.
To
Like
clarify.
Yeah.
like, oh, she's so loud and obnoxious. I hate her. That's me basically thinking that I'm loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, and seeing that in them. Yeah. We actually believe that we are different from them and incapable of their behavior. Now remember, like the philosopher and psychologist Ken Wilber tells us, if a person or thing in our environment informs us, if we receive what is happening as information, a point of interest, we probably aren't projecting.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if it affects us, if we're pointing out fingers and judging, if we're plugging in, chances are that we are a victim of our own projections.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's really long, and I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing. But
No.
I think if you guys want to look it up, it's a blog. It's called How to Stop Projecting When You're Projecting.
I'm going to look that up because that's...
Oh, by Debbie Ford. So there you go.
Debbie Ford.
Linked.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's
Thanks.
good knowledge. It's so like if I get angry at someone, it's usually not because of them.
Yeah.
It's usually because of what's going on with me.
Absolutely. Because sometimes, if you're in a good place, in a good space, mind space, someone will do something that's either irritating or rude or something. And you're just really not affected. You're like, okay, you acknowledge it, but it doesn't affect you. That's when you know that you're okay. But I mean, if it really affects you or you react in some way, then obviously there's something else going on.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Yeah. Makes sense to me.
I think that's a good moral of this episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for listening. So what is it?
HCI.
FHY.
FHY. At gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Like us at Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
Or Instagram.
Yeah. And all the feedback is good that you want to give us. It's great. Try to be kind, though. Come on. Also, any experiences that you have customer service wise or with coworkers or, whatever. Oh, I forgot to ask the question to Justin about his whole situation, but we can do that next time. It was basically just like, how do we deal with these situations? He dealt with his by smoking a joint. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like other dynamics between coworkers. Thank God I don't have any like that. But I realized, I asked myself, what would I do if I was in that situation? Would I talk to the person? Would I give it to them back? Because that's not a comfortable situation to work in.
Very true. But I think also we kind of answered the question with projection, is thinking
right, that too.
Yeah. What is it really them that's the issue, or is it what I'm thinking, what I'm projecting onto them, that's the issue?
And sometimes it is them, but I think a lot of the time it isn't.
Absolutely. And I think you can get somebody else to verify for you.
Yeah, do that.
A lot of the time.
But I actually think most of the time it's usually us. It's the projection we put onto others. I think rarely, because I think genuinely people aren't out to get you. I think people are usually if they're doing something, they're usually not thinking, or they're just, they have, the tone was missed.
Yeah.
I really don't think people are out to get others.
And
so
also, how are you doing in your life? You know what I mean? You might be a little bit sensitive.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think we talked about that earlier as well. So
sensitivity. Anyway, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great fucking day.